And we're live. Microphone check 1, 2. Can you hear me okay, Ron Spence?
We can hear you fine.
All right, cool. Just want to make sure. Looks like we got a little lag going on with the internet.
That's the same microphone I have.
Oh, yeah? You got a Yeti?
Yep. I don't have it plugged in. I just have it here somewhere. I use it every once in a while.
Oh, okay. Okay. That's not bad. Well, it's Freedom Friday. Oh, whoa.
Ooh, you're doing your Max Headroom thing.
Oh, my gosh. This is crazy. I see this.
I think the smoke's interfering with the internet in California.
Well, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to log out and
Well, now you're gone. I wonder, of course, I don't control this, but I wonder if there's other people there who are in the room yet. We're on the air, but we're not recorded yet, so I guess we're just waiting for Mansa to return. He was knocked off, and then maybe he can start the program. There's Mansa.
Here we go.
Maybe you should keep it in that mode right there and don't go live. Maybe that's the problem.
I don't know. It should be working pretty good. I just did a Zoom meeting, but yeah, just let some folks log on. Give them a couple moments, and we'll see who we have here. But other than that, greetings, everyone. Thank you guys for tuning in. This is Mansa Jamil with the AI Global Legends. And we're excited to share some information about this quantum technology that we've been using to help put our bodies back into balance. And, we've been using this technology now for about 10 months. Actually, it'll be 10 solid months on the 5th, right? On the 5th.
Time flies when you're having fun, huh?
I know. 10 solid months on the 5th of October.
Wow.
So I'm excited about that. I see, my life changing. I see my body getting back into balance. This is the first time out of 10 months that, I had some issues breathing, and it wasn't from, any like illnesses or anything that I was coming along with. It wasn't really from like asthma. It was from, the smoke here in my area. I live in the hills, and it's nothing but smoke all through these hills out here because of the fires here in California. But I had to check myself in the hospital earlier this week and kind of check on my breathing because I got a little paranoid, like, wait a minute, what's going on here? I know and it was so packed. It was so many people in the hospital, Ron. It was bananas. I mean, people was, ambulances was pulling up, bringing in like loads of people, and it was so many people in there. It was like they didn't really come to my room for like an hour and a half. So I was just sitting there like waiting, And so I while I was in there, I had a little bit of internet, so I was able to put on my info boost. I put on oxygen, and then I also put on ozone, right? And so I had those on. I did a spark scan, and I started feeling some relief, almost like in 15 to 20 seconds, right? Some relief, and I was able to breathe a little bit better, but I still was out of like my inhaler. So, the panic attack still kind of kicked in just because I didn't have it. And so we call that the rescue inhaler. And so just by me pressing those buttons and, able to, get some relief, my confidence in this technology just grew a lot more, so by the time the doctor came in there to check on me, he was like, "Oh, you don't sound too bad," you know what I'm saying? So, I didn't tell him that I pressed the button and I was able to get some oxygen. So he would have understood that one. So other than that, they kept me there for about almost 3 hours, with a breathing treatment and all other type of things. But, they're just trying to make some money, I think that was the biggest thing. And I think what happened as well is that they kind of checked me in like I had COVID. The person at the desk, they put down shortness of breath and all this stuff. So I had all these guys running in my room with like x-rays, people running in my room to check my blood. They wanted to draw blood out of me. I was like, no, hold on. You guys are going way too far here. I'm not, saying I have any type of symptoms with COVID, so they was trying to really put me through the whole situation that they had lined up for COVID patients. Right. So, they was in my room coming in and out with machines and stuff. I was like, no, we don't need that. We're good. So
you probably were put on their books as a COVID statistic.
Right. Exactly. That's exactly what the nurse said. So, that's why, they had me there so long, when they did finally get to me. But after they ran their tests and everything, they knew I was just, kind of needing some breathing treatment or a refill on an inhaler, But other than that, man, I was just excited again, just to be able to have a technology at my fingertips to be able to, press a button and get some kind of relief while I was waiting, so that was amazing in itself, So appreciate everyone joining us on YouTube. I see a bunch of people loading up from YouTube. Hello, welcome. And everyone that's joining us now here on this meeting, I want to say thank you guys for tuning in. And this will be recorded and put into the group on Facebook for the individuals that would like to get the replay and share with their prospects. We'll put it on our channel. And so thank you guys for tuning in. I really appreciate everyone. Of course, it's always a pleasure. Again, my name is Mansa Jamil, and I have the master distributor with me, Mr. Ron Spence. Ron, go ahead and turn your camera on. I think your camera's, unless you have it on, it's not showing.
There you go.
There you go. So other than that, what's your experience with this technology so far? Oh, hold on. Your president got the heebie-jeebies, I heard. I heard he got the COVID-19. Have you heard about that?
Yeah, I did. I saw that last night. In fact, I got an email today from our president. I'm not the president, but president of Olympic Art. And he said, Ron, why don't you, since you've already had COVID, why don't you put together a remote info boost for President Trump? And I says, no, I was saving that for Trump's buddy, Dr. Von Cook. Reason why I did that, having come with that, is because they're not the best of friends.
Trump and Dr. Cook.
Yeah, exactly. He belongs to another party. But anyways, so that's the reason why I said that, because I wanted to have some fun with him.
Right.
Now, well, let's let President Trump's buddy, Dr. Von Cook, send him a remote boost. But
oh, that's funny. Well, yeah, something is going on. I was thinking that they could probably clean the air there in his private jet as he's flying around the world. He should have that air cleaned.
Well, he's visiting with people all the time, so it's just a matter of time that he was going to get it. And of course, he took hydrochloroquine, and I think it was erythromycin and zinc. Apparently, that combination has historically been effective, and he's already gone down that path. So I suspect he's having. I understand he's having some symptoms, but not very badly. Not very badly, and I suspect it's because he's already taken some of the stuff that helps make that experience a less of a problem.
Right. Absolutely. So, hopefully we can, if we get this technology that we have our hands on right now, with the quantum energy out to enough people, eventually they'll hear about it and they want to, kind of use this technology inside of their group and their inner circles, but, we just got to get the word out, how this could help put the body back into balance, right?
Yeah, in fact, I I wish I could talk to President Trump about his situation there, but I happen to, one of the cool things we have with this technology, it is our innate intelligence. Dr. Cook designed this to have our innate intelligence actually communicate with the system and actually talk to us, and it talks to us in a way that it identifies things that our body's preferring to solve some of the problems. So those of you who know, some weeks ago, I came down with COVID, and I'm in my 70s, and this bug is designed for older people. Okay, younger people. I have a lot of friends and family and everything have COVID. Not a big deal. Okay, maybe sick a little bit, but no big deal. It actually hit me pretty good for a couple weeks.
Ron, hold on 1 second. Were you diagnosed with COVID? Or is this your own
I was officially tested and diagnosed with COVID.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Went to the hospital and everything. Wow.
Yeah. And so I went to there. We have a local clinic here where you're tested, and I had all the symptoms. I knew that I did have it, but it wasn't formal until you get tested.
Right.
And so when I took the test, and of course, by the time I took the test, I was over pretty much all the symptoms. And so apparently you're susceptible to transfer it to other people in the early beginning days of it. But it was well over 2 weeks after the fact that I got tested, and it still shows that I have it, but I wasn't having the symptoms. But I wanted to share with you is that for a couple of weeks, I was just sick. I mean, I wasn't down for the count or anything. I just didn't feel good, aches and pains, like kind of flu-y stuff, Yeah, I wasn't stuffed up. I didn't have other things. I didn't have, as bad as it was, I didn't have formerly having asthma. I didn't have really respiratory issues other than I was coughing a lot. It was making me kind of a dry cough. And of course, that's one of the symptoms.
Right.
And so, but I didn't feel good and everything. And sometimes it seems like in the evening it got worse. But even what I wanted to tell you is after, normally if you come down with some sickness or flu or whatever, it's at least a week experience for a lot of people. And I noticed after a week, I wasn't improving enough to know that, geez, normally I should be on the mends here and getting better. And I wasn't having that experience. And I thought, geez, what can I do here? And it just dawned on me that we have a technology with a feature in it. It's called a voice-activated spark scan. And what that is, that Dr. Cook designed that so that our bodies, our intellect, our innate intelligence actually can communicate with the system in a way that it talks to us in a way that we identify various nutraceuticals and things like that our body's preferring to help it through the situation it's dealing with. And I thought, well, I know I should do that because I haven't done it it was over 10 days. And so I was able to get in there and I turned that on, and right at the top of the list came 5G. And right next to it was radio waves. Now, I do a lot of research, and in particularly I've been doing a lot of research on 5G and, of course, the coronavirus and everything. And I already knew I had the symptoms of coronavirus, but it didn't dawn on me that I was also having the same symptoms of 5G exposure, heavy 5G exposure, same things. And I think, whoa, maybe the reason why I'm not recovering is I'm being exposed to 5G. And then just and 5G basically messes up your cells and also your immune system. So I thought, oh, that's really cool. Just the mere fact to know that I have that exposure. So I decided to go ahead and turn that on. Now, I turned it on. The way the system is designed, this is called EMF imponderables. And when your body, first of all, identifies the fact that you have that exposure, and it's a negative exposure to the body, when you select that, The system is designed so that it's going to help remove, if you will, or nullify the impact of the 5G. That's how the intent and design of it was to do that. This is my first real experience in that setting. And so what I did, I turned it on. And now, you remember, I've had 2 weeks of not so good health. And I didn't see it improving that much. But when I turned this on, like in 15 minutes, I felt, oh my gosh, I can feel that I turned the corner. I was feeling better. But and this was in the evening, by the way, when I did this. And the next morning when I got up, I was 90% better. I mean, overnight, it was such an improvement. So the dots that I've connected are such that I believe that I've had an extra exposure of 5G that helped me experience a more negative aspect of this, a more negative version. And I wasn't able to solve the problem until I identified the fact that I had an exposure. And when I removed that exposure, the way this is designed, man, I got better real fast. Now, the moral of that story, for me, I'm convinced that I had that exposure and it was negatively impacting me. And so what I did, I've turned it on, and I'm always going to keep it on, and I'll tell you why. And I've done a lot of research on this, and I can tell you the research always says that electromagnetics, particularly 5G, is very troubling and bothersome to human biology. In other words, it's really damaging to us. We are moving into a time frame, especially if you live near big cities, we're moving into a time frame where they're rolling out this 5G very aggressively, and we're going to be all exposed to it. And it's I can tell you right up front, 5G exposure ongoing every day it's going to cause you to be sick, and even worse sometimes. And so what I'm doing with it, realizing the tool that we have and how effective it is, I'm always going to keep that bugger on because I never know when I'm going to have that exposure. And then every time, maybe 10 days or so, I'll do a voice scan, see if any other electromagnetic exposures come up. Because if they do, I'm going to turn those on. I'm going to leave them on. Okay. And because here's the thing, you can be doing the best thing in your life. I mean, you can be doing all the right things. You can be exercise, getting right sleep, losing weight, eating right foods, taking right nutrition. You can be doing all that stuff. And if you get zapped by electromagnetics, it actually will bring you to your knees. None of that stuff will save you from it. Okay. But this is a tool that, in my personal experience, I can only share with that. My personal experience is as soon as I turned that bugger on, man, it left very quickly after 2 weeks of having this problem. And so for me, and of course, the design of this is to do that. And so, when Dr. Cook designs and creates these things, we don't know, it's going to work. And so when he designed, it was designed with that intent. I can tell you firsthand experience that it worked for me, and I suspect it's going to work for many others. I believe it's probably the best thing that we have in our library to protect us from the onslaught of the electromagnetic poisoning that our country is going to start moving into the next year or two.
Yeah, I believe that firmly, and I know this technology worked because even when I went to the hospital earlier this week, I had them do an X-ray on my foot, and when I did my spark scan yesterday, it showed up. I was blown away that how did it know that I did an X-ray? I mean, it literally popped up. It's like right at the bottom of the 90s%. It wasn't all the way up, but it did show up at the bottom of the 90s, and I couldn't wait to click that button to say, yes, protect me from this X-ray and EMF, so it came up 2 different ones, kind of further down in the 80s as well.
And man said, and there was a study that I read probably 5-6 months ago in reference to X-rays, because I was early on some months ago, I had a hit on X-rays in my body too. I'm thinking, geez, I haven't had any X-rays for it seems like a couple years. I'm thinking, how can that happen? Well, I'm reading this. This was a NASA report, okay? And it's talking about this particular one was done by some NASA scientists actually portraying and explaining how electromagnetics in general affect biology. And it went back clear 100 years, clear back to, beginning of the 1900s. and how each decade and so how it gets worse and worse. So in that, it talked about X-rays, and in this, and I learned something and I didn't know before, and it was if you have when you get X-rays, the X-rays are stored. That energy X-ray is stored in your body, and it is not released easily. So that when you did a voice scan and it showed X-ray, it probably is going to stay there until you kick its butt and get rid of it. And we have the tools, I believe, that will accomplish that. Now, the same thing happened to me when I have an infrared sauna in my house. Okay, and so I'm surprised, just like what you experienced. If I go ahead and go in the infrared sauna, and the infrared sauna gives off also does electromagnetics as well. Okay, well it gives off infrared. Okay, and so I'll go ahead and do the sauna, then I'll do a voice scan, and guess what shows up right in the 90s? Infrared. EMF. And so think of that. I mean, this is a fun test. You can do that, and the innate intelligence in your body, the way Dr. Cook has this done, our body actually talks to us and says, oh, by the way, you've got an exposure here, a pretty high one, to infrared electromagnetics, just like Mansa got an exposure to X-rays. So the reason why we're bringing this out is because it's a tool to help you identify what's going on in your life that may be problematic, okay? And we also have the tool, the way it was designed, and the intent of it is to remove that problem so we can have a better quality of life.
Absolutely. I think that right now it's even more important because, with this pandemic, people are stuck in their homes and you have kids on the computers 24/7 and things like that. So people need to consider just not only protecting themselves, but also protecting their children because they're being overly exposed to electromagnetics, running around with these tablets, playing these video games 24/7 without having an outlet. So this technology is like the perfect way for people to actually protect themselves, their families, and their children especially.
Yeah, and I look around when I see my grandkids and everything, the little ones, okay, and I mean they live on these phones. They play little games on it. They're 5 years old, and they live on these phones, and they're experts at it, okay, and but they have that exposure all the time. We have in the library the electromagnetic exposure of cell phones, cell towers. There has all the different kind of categories in there that it's addressed. I suspect if you were to able to take those little children and you were to do a voice scan on them, bring them on maybe in the friends and family, you'd find out that they have a high exposure there because your body's going to say, hey, you got a 90% hit here on this cell phone electromagnetics. And all of these electromagnetics are harmful to human biology. Just know that.
Yeah, anytime someone come over to my house now, I have them take a spark scan before they come in, instead of taking the wand and checking their temperature. I said, you got to do a spark scan. Go ahead and speak into this device very slowly.
That's really cool. That's a high-tech way of, seeing what's going on.
Absolutely. And it works, because I don't know exactly what they've been exposed to.
Now, there's something else too. It kind of leads right into this to show you how important it is that we have an electromagnetic offering that helps us navigate this minefield that can hurt us so badly. Well, I think we have a tremendous solution, both in identifying that there's a problem, and then the next situation is to be able to remove it. Okay. And so I think we have something that really works quite well there. That's been my experience. But when I'll show you how significant this is. One of the things that in our company, we have a lot of different formulas. We call them infoboosts, okay? There's a number of them that exist in the main company site, which is the olympicarc.com site. And then there's another site that we have out there. This is a private site, if you will, but anybody can go to it. It's called quantumnomads.net. And on there, we have an accumulation of many, many formulas that address various issues, okay? And they were created and they were placed there because this is input from researchers around the world who've created formulas with botanicals that that have certain outcomes, and they're known outcomes. There's test studies and everything. Some of these are from practitioners who have put together their own specific formulas they've used over the years that's been effective, and they've created an InfoBoost version of those as well. Okay, and these are created from botanical sources, botanical formulas, and things like that. One of the things that we've most recently have that we've created is called the Chi or Chai Boost. Okay, and that was designed with the intent, and the gentleman who did most of the work on that, his name's Alan Dashner, and he's done a lot of research in this area, just like what I have, and he came to the conclusion that if we can provide the body with all the things that it needs, for example, we know the human body needs, here's the basic things. If we can provide these ingredients to the body, it's going to take care of 99% of the problems it may run into, as long as we can assimilate it, okay? So here's what they are. There are 9 essential amino acids. Now, the reason why there's 9 and they're essential, these are amino acids that our body doesn't produce. We have to have them in a food source every day, okay? And so that's why they're essential. The next ones, of course, are vitamins, then minerals, then trace elements. So those are if our body has those and can get them and assimilate that every single day, it has all the building blocks to be healthy. Now, even if you are doing this Chai Boost, and it comes in different phases, phase 1, 2, and 3, there's other catalyst products and there's other things in there to make that process easier. But at the end of the day, here's my point. My point is, you can be doing all the right things. You can be eating all the right foods. You can be taking supplements. You can be taking these info boosts, which are, I think, a better version than supplements sometimes. And you can be doing all the right things. And eventually, you should be able to start restoring, getting optimal health. But if you're attacked by electromagnetics, particularly 5G, it throws all that out the window because it hurts your cells and your immunity in so many ways. You can't get around that. So the reason why I believe that what we have in our library with the electromagnetic offering, I believe is probably our biggest value that people would receive using this technology in protecting them and their families from this onslaught of our world's electromagnetic and everything, and it's going to continue to hurt people. And by the way, so you know, the studies on this show that exposure to electromagnetic, particularly 5G, over a period of time ongoing, will create unhealthy cells and immune system. So what's happening there? Well, we're going to get sick and sicker and sicker and sicker. And much of this stuff, we're vulnerable because we don't have a good immune system. We're vulnerable to all these bugs going around, viruses or whatever they might be. And so that's the reason why everybody needs to have this technology and at least turn on specific electromagnetic info boosts.
Yeah, I think also that's probably why iPhone, sorry about that, why iPhone has delayed their release, because they want to make sure that they got the 5G, you know, embedded in their system as well. I've been noticing that all these different cell phone companies are starting to advertise, you know, publicly, like T-Mobile, Verizon, and now iPhone is starting to come out with their 5G, you know, probably in the next couple weeks. So, you know, this 5G thing is getting, you know, horrendous. And I think that this is a perfect opportunity to start asking people, let's check and see if you've been, you know, exposed to any 5G or any type of radiation. You know, that would be a great selling point, because then you'll be able to, you know, share that with them. You know,
that's a good point, man. So just think, we have the capabilities within our company with this offering that it's a subscription service, okay, but we have a very inexpensive portion of it's called Friends and Family, of which we have the ability for $10 a piece to add 8 more people to kick the tires and try this out. So let's say you have a friend, or it could be a family member, right, and they're out playing with their 5G phones, got 5G, and eventually everything's going to be 5G. You know, it'd be really cool just to go to them and say, look, let's see if you have a 5G exposure, because, you know, this isn't good for your health. especially you're telling you're not feeling good and all these things. Well, it may be it's the electromagnetics that's doing this. Let's find out. Well, how do you find out? Well, we're gonna do a what we have called a voice scan, and your innate intelligence, the way this is set up, is going to communicate with us and you, and let you know that first of all, is there a problem, and then what to do. So, and I would suspect, as we get far enough along into this, they could be children, could be adults, could be no matter who, anybody who's playing with electromagnetics, it's going to come up in a very high percentage, I suspect, in the 80s and 90+%. And when they see that, they're going to realize, you can basically share with them, look, this is saying your innate intelligence is telling you you're being harmed by this electromagnetic, this specific kind called 5G. And if you want, and another thing to share with them, look, because there's a lot of research on it. You can show the research. What if we start accumulating that and sending it to people and help them see that, they're going to see how damaging it is to them and their loved ones, their children, their grandchildren, and then we might be able to help a lot of people here because we can very cost effectively identify that for them and provide a solution.
Absolutely. And, AT&T, they were one of the first companies that I saw that was really rolling out the 5G heavily and things like that. And they have a lot of different services that they provide. One of them is the Wi-Fi service. And I talk to people all around the world, and there's a lot of people that have Wi-Fi 5G in their homes and they don't even recognize it. These are like invisible electromagnetics that are floating around the house. And I've heard horror stories from some friends that I talked to. They were feeling really ill, really having like nausea and headaches and all kinds of stuff. They had to call up AT&T and have that stuff be removed from their homes. And, it's just really bad, because there's some malicious people out there that will tell you that 5G electromagnetics, they have no harmful effects.
They do. They surely do. In fact, one of the areas that we're all exposed to and vulnerable right now, it's a process to reverse this, and that is the smart meters that are on your house. The smart meters that are on your house, they can crank those things up to in the 5G range and beyond. And again, I've read a number of studies where various alternative docs have working with certain patients and trying to figure out why they have these issues, health problems. And they look at a whole bunch of things and start eliminating things. Sometimes it's a fungal related thing, which, by the way, we have the same kind of solution there as well. But many times they'll find that there's an electromagnetic exposure. Of course, with our technology, we can identify it right away. But what they've done is they kind of guessed at it. They said, okay, we know that, first of all, this one study I was reading, this is a couple, they're both getting sick. And when they get up in the morning, they're always feeling bad and everything. And the healthcare practitioner says, how far is your smart meter, your electricity meter, from where you sleep? And he said, geez, it's right outside, just like 3 feet away, where their bed is. And he said, that could be the problem because that emits electromagnetics pretty powerful. And by the way, so that you know, what I did just to verify that, this is a smart meter, and this is an electromagnetic tester, okay? And what this electromagnetic tester does is it lets you know in a range how much electromagnetics is coming, you're being influenced by. So what I did, I took this out to a smart meter on the side of the home, and I measured it, and I wanted to see what it was. It came in at the same levels as a microwave.
No.
Okay. It was huge. It was like thousands of times more exposure than you would normally get. Now, the reason why I say this, people overlook this. They don't even realize that this is there and that it's an exposure that's hurting us. Mm. And so we have the ability. Well, anyways, getting back to this couple, the healthcare practitioner didn't know any of this other than, hey, let's try something. Let's move your bed to the other end of the room or sleep in another room for a while. Let's see if it gets better. And sure enough, it got better. So they were further away from it. The reason why I mentioned this is we don't even have to go through those gyrations. We can know right now with our testing, with our technology, if there is a personalized exposure to you, And then if there is, we have a way of solving that problem. Okay. And so that's just the mere fact of having that ability within our technology is worth its weight in gold.
Absolutely. And then, it's a lot of companies out there that when they add new products to their library, they tend to hike up the prices, right? And so here we've noticed that we've added hundreds of new products just in the last 10 months that we've been involved, and the price is still the same. I mean, imagine that. It's still the same price. You don't have a hike up in the price, so you don't need to adjust your budget for this. And, the thing is if you guys really want to help spread awareness, we have a compensation plan that's tied into this as well. And you can get paid for sharing this awesome technology with others. I say start off with sharing it with 2 people a month, and build this casually. You can build a massive residual income. Even if you just told 2 people about this product a month, you can get yours for free, exactly. at that price, because you'll earn enough referral commissions to pay for your subscription for this technology. And that's a no-brainer. This is a no-brainer. We already have people that has been so excited and juiced up about this technology that they're earning, hundreds and thousands a week just by sharing this with others, and it's a real simple process. We have a state-of-the-art back office that keeps track of all your customers for you. I mean, you don't even have to pay any website hosting fees. It's all included. Your website is included. We have packed with videos for educational purposes. We have programs like this on this channel, and then we have other channels that teach and share different testimonials. So we always are, in tune with the field so they can learn more and more about how this technology works. I mean, we got people from all over the world. I know Brazil, Australia, China, not China, but Japan. We got people from all parts of the world using this technology and having some amazing results. So if you're hearing this for the first time, get with the person who shared it with you so you can get your Spark scan done, so you can, when you invite guests to your house, have them do a Spark scan. You have 8 different slots that's for friends and families that you can use for them. And then they may like it and they may want to, am I getting froze here? They may want to share this with their friends and their family. And that's how you can build a business with this. It's not a pressure sell, but it is definitely something that you could share with, friends and family, and even promote this on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, or whatnot.
Amen. So one thing that's real important that I think it's worth mentioning is how quickly we ship the product to them.
It's instant delivery, right?
There's no, we don't charge any shipping. It's free shipping, right?
Faster than the speed of light.
And not only is it free shipping, but that we give everybody super service. We ship it to them at the speed of light. And I don't know of any other shipper out there that can do it that fast.
Absolutely. Ron, our technology is unlike anything out there, but I just wanted to bring something to your attention because this has kind of been bothering me a little bit. But, there's a lot of things out there that have to do with frequencies. And one of the things that's really popular is that some of these frequency-based technologies are claiming that they have protection from the 5G now. What is your opinion on that?
I really don't have an opinion. I don't know if a frequency can interrupt that. I hope they can, but there needs to be a way to prove that. I think if they had the ability to, first of all, have a biofeedback version that says, first of all, that you have an exposure, okay, and then to turn on the frequency supposed to block that to see what happens. Now, in my case, I firsthand, I've been doing that for some time and realizing that, okay, when I turn it on, it actually shows the exposure of 5G, 4G, whatever it might be, that it totally it starts beating it down. In other words, it goes from the 90s to the 80s to 70s. So I know from that standpoint that it should be reducing it, because my innate intelligence, if it was, it would always say, hey, it's right up there, still 90, hasn't done anything. So that's one test. But the big test for me is when I got sick with COVID. Okay. And I saw that the 5G was right at the top there, exposing me and hurting me, I believed. And so when I turned that burger on, after sick for a couple of weeks, overnight, 90% of it left. I was just overnight. So it told me, it reacted to me and let me know that, okay, part of this was a 5G exposure that I had. And it actually, in my belief is it turned it off, because I saw such great relief so quickly, like within minutes to the next day being almost 90% better. So I can tell you from our end, I know it's working. Someone else making representation, they have protection. Hey guys, I don't know. There are things like, for example, I don't know if you can see this in the back of that there's a little emblem in the back of my phone. Okay.
Oh yeah, the stickers.
Okay, that's a sticker. Now let me tell you something. I could probably even demonstrate it here. Well, what it is, see, I have an electromagnetic tester. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So here's a real cool test. So what I did is I said, okay, this is a sticker. The reason why it's on my phone, why do you think it's there? It's to block electromagnetics. That's the claim. You can buy this somewhere out there. There's a lot of products like that. And by the way, these are frequency based, because what they do is they embed frequency into a magnetic foil to hold it. And that frequency is to block the electromagnetics, right? That's the theory. Okay, when you put it to the test, however, and you turn my phone on and you turn on the electromagnetics, it's like sometimes microwave. I mean, it's so high. It's from 10 to 1,000 times higher than what a normal electromagnetic exposure should be, which tells me that this little sticker on here doesn't do diddly, but yet it's a representation of a frequency-based solution, which I know now just doesn't work. Okay,
you're probably hitting some heavy metals with it along the way. With the foil.
Well, it's hard for us to compare other people and what they represent. They can represent what they want, but I can tell you firsthand the way that I've tested our technology. I know it works. Okay, I've also tested other people's stuff. Everything else is frequency based, and I at least this I've shown on it doesn't do anything. Now, there is another one I've come across out there. And by the way, there'll be more of these, because as we move into this 5G era, more and more people are going to start coming out and explaining the detriment of this electromagnetics and what it's going to do on our health. So there is another company out there. I know who they are real well. They sell a device. It's a physical device, okay? One that you can carry in your person, one that's big enough to do your car, and one for your home, okay? And it's supposed to put a protective aura around it. Now, it's frequency based. Now, I don't know how effective that is, but let me tell you what the cost is. Okay, it starts in around $2,000 and goes up to like $8,000 or $9,000. And I'm thinking, hey, wait a minute, you can do that with us for as little as $10. I mean, you can't compare the two. Okay, and this is something you have with you all the time. When it's personalized to you, it's with you no matter where you go. Okay, and so I just think we have probably the best, most cost-effective solution that I've seen out there.
Ron, a lot of people are in the mindset is if it costs more, then it should work better. That's the mind frame. So a lot of people don't appreciate a low entry level when it comes to this technology.
Hey, Matt, this is a great opportunity for us to sell our technology for thousands of dollars, don't you think?
Yeah, I was just going to say that. Because guess what? We can wrap it up with our coaching on how to use it, and put the price tag there,
Exactly.
Because technology is one thing, but how to use it is another. And then if we want to, we can do that. But we're giving this to you guys all complimentary. So take advantage of this awesome wisdom that Ron is sharing with us, guys. So I know that there's some people on this call right now that may have some questions for you now, Ron, since we're coming up on the last 10 minutes of the Zoom meeting here. So if so, go ahead and put your questions in the chat box. and let's fire off to Ron. I know Malik had a couple questions too, right? Malik, did you have any more?
I think that was the question that I really wanted to, put forward today. And I think he answered some of my other questions on the last one, about these theta waves and serotonin and all that stuff. Because I have some people in Germany, they're really excited about this stuff, and they see all of these new ingredients that we have coming into the library. And these guys are just like, when are we going to get serotonin? When are we going to get theta waves and all of this kind of stuff,
Yeah, it's really interesting, Malik. We, just today, I have a list. This is 2 pages, a list of ingredients that were just added just days ago. There are, I think, 32, 35 of them. Now, these are ingredients that we use to actually create 4 different types of InfoBoosts. And so we didn't charge anybody new, but just to show you the value of this, there was about 8 different ingredients in this selection here that I used to complete a boost on. It was kidney function, it's kidney support and enhance and stuff like that. And the reason why those ingredients are there, they're there because of a study I came across, and there was a story attached to that study. It was a young lady in her 80s. She was told by her doctor that she had to go do dialysis every single day because her kidneys failed, and she had to do it every day to stay alive. And I think that here's how she described her life: an hour to go to the dialysis center, 6 hours staying there to do dialysis, and an hour to go back. So 8 hours a day. That was her life. And she felt, this isn't really living. I can't go see my grandkids. I can't go travel. I can't do anything. There's got to be a way to solve this problem. And so she talked to her doctor, and the doctor says, no, once you start having to do dialysis, it can never be reversed. Well, she didn't believe that. She said, there's got to be a way. So she started doing some research, like many of us do, come across an herbologist out there in the world that treated anything with herbs. And so she talked to him. She says, here's my situation. Do you think you could do anything to help me out? And he says, I think we can. There isn't anything that can't be reversed in his mind. Okay. So he put together a series of herbs and botanicals that were to, first of all, detox the kidney. And the next one was to support the kidney. Now, she went through this process with him. I remember it being about, probably a couple, 2 to 3 months. And here's what happened. She went to the dialysis center because they test you before you do it every day. She's been doing this for months. And this, after a couple, 2 to 3 months into this experience with this herbologist, she wanted to get tested before she did her dialysis. And the technician says, oh, you don't need to do this today. And he was just so surprised, like, oh my gosh. So she went home. The next day she went down, same result. You don't need to do it today. 3rd day, same result. And by the 4th day, she realized, oh my gosh, my kidneys are working. Now, here's a Western medicine basically telling her that that's impossible, that can't happen, but yet there it did, it happened. When you look at what we're doing here with Olympic Arc, we're not providing botanical solutions. We're not doing anything like that. We're providing the information that's attached to those botanicals. Our innate intelligence knows the difference, and it absorbs it into our energy field to bring us back into balance. And that's the reason why we have a better quality of life. And just so that we always make this, let you know that anything that we mention here is not intended to diagnose, treat, or cure, or prevent any disease. Okay, so but what we're doing is we're creating a better quality of people's lives because we're providing the information that the body would naturally harvest from the physical botanical world and providing it to us initially. And the reason why I believe that's a better solution is because we know through toxin exposure that botanicals, biochemicals can be blocked and not handshake, and we need that nutrition to make us healthy and strong. There does not seem to be a problem with taking energy signatures and information energetically because there's nothing because it's energy and it's invisible in a sense. There's nothing there to block at the standard normal biochemical pathways. So in many ways, I believe we have a superior solution, to provide that information that traditionally is provided through taking, botanicals and nutritional products.
Hey, Ron, I missed this TCM. What is this TCM acupuncture points?
Those are something that Dr. Cook is, in his practice, is what he's done over the years. These are different energy points in the body. Darn, I'm missing the name of it. It's the different points in the body where energy passes through. And so this is his knowledge of that. And if your body comes up with one of those, then it's basically saying, okay, in this particular point in your body, you have a blockage, energy. And when you select this, the way it's designed, the intent is to unblock that flow so the energy can flow more readily through the body.
Oh, that's amazing, right there.
It is. Yeah, it is. It is. Really is. Mm-hmm.
Stiffness in back. Wow. That's huge. Wow. This is new to me.
It's like acupuncture points. And
right.
in the teaching behind that is why they put needles. When they put needles in those points, that is to allow the energy to flow naturally through the point that's blocked.
We do have a couple questions right here as well. One of them is from Tony, and she says, which EMFs are okay in the imponderable section?
They're all okay.
All of them are okay. And then she goes, sunlight is our boost, but someone said that magnetic North Pole. I guess.
So I think what she's trying to say is that someone said that magnetic North Pole is safe or something like that, and it's not harmful.
So do you suggest to continue with biochemical supplements?
Well, I used to take that a lot, and today I hardly take any. I still take some because I have them, but instead of taking them every day, I'm taking them maybe once a week, maybe once every 2 weeks. I don't feel the need to do that. And only because, I read the science all the time, and I know that when we're taking physical things does not mean we're receiving it. And a very good point of this, most people take, for example, let's take a vitamin mineral pill. A vitamin mineral pill has all the vitamins and minerals and everything there. But when you digest and it comes to the receptor, one of the receptors does multiple duty, and it can be blocked as soon as it takes in, say, vitamin A first. If it takes in vitamin A first, and there's vitamin D there's vitamin Bs, there's iron, all those things that typically go through that receptor now are blocked. It's like you never had it, okay? And it acts the same way as a toxin blocking the receptor or electromagnetics blocking it. So that's called nutrient competition. So I say 99% of the multivitamin mineral kind of pills that are out there do not know about nutrient competition, and they've designed these in such a way that you're not going to get the assimilation of the nutrients that you're paying for.
So are you saying that even though that you're taking, say, vitamin D3, 5,000 IUs, and you're regularly taking this, that it's not going to leave a energy print in your body? So
well, we don't know the exact thing there. It's like playing Russian roulette. We don't know which receptors in your body are blocked, and they're guaranteed they're blocked because we all have these toxins. And when we take multivitamin pills, guarantee it's going to be blocked by nutrient competition because they all come to the receptors at the same time. And it's kind of like that thing, musical chairs. Remember when you play musical chairs and one's left over? Well, that's what happens. First, right? It's not, it gets there first and the other ones don't, okay? And so that's why I believe we have a superior solution, because the energy information doesn't travel the same physical biochemical pathways. It doesn't have to go through the receptor. And even if it did, there's nothing. It's physical. It's non-physical. So it would handshake anyways.
So do you think that it'll enhance it? So if I'm taking vitamin D3, the energy information, and I'm also taking the vitamin D3, the physical, do you think it'll be enhanced? I mean, if
I believe that I believe you're covering all the bases if you do it that way. Okay. Although I've seen it, that story that Dr. Cook tells about the gal that came into his office years ago suffering with scurvy symptoms, and she was eating vitamin C or she was taking vitamin C supplements, she was eating vitamin C food, and yet she still had those symptoms. But yet when she took the Info Boost of vitamin C, her symptoms went away.
Right, right.
That's what I'm talking about. Is on the physical world, we can have things blocked because of toxins, because of nutrient competition, because of EMFs. When you're taking this, you're getting, at the end of the day, you have to realize our body is made to harvest information. And that's what's happening here. We're providing your physical aura, if you will, your energy field, the information that it needs to, that it's typically harvesting from the physical world, which is the botanical, the vitamin D.
Wow, that's powerful. And I hope you guys got some powerful notes, because this is amazing technology, guys. So again, I really appreciate you, Ron, for sharing your wisdom and your knowledge with us here on the AI Global Legends channel. And I appreciate everyone who showed up to ask these questions and watch the show. I appreciate all of you guys on YouTube, Facebook, and everywhere we see. So appreciate you as well, Malik. Thanks for joining us. Did you want to leave any last words?
Just want to tell everyone, share this amazing technology with every single person that you know. And by now, you guys should understand, the reality of 5G and how it's plaguing us right now. So share this information, protect yourself, protect your family members, and share out this webinar with as many people as you can. And tune into this show Monday through Friday. And we'll be back here on Monday. So we wish you guys a wonderful weekend from the AI Global Legends.
Absolutely. Peace and blessings.
You guys have a great weekend.
You too.
Absolutely.
Hey, Ron.
Yeah.
Make sure you don't blow too much marijuana smoke out there this weekend. All right. Take care.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah. Okay.